Discussion time, come on, grab your mics. We'll talk about some random crap. Powerstars and Skeleton Minion. Fun will never end. It's discussion time.
Hey!
Hey! I'm Powerstars.
I'm the Skeleton Minion.
I'm ShadowClaw1009.
This is some random guy.
Shut up.
And this is the first episode of Discussion Time, where we discuss random things like the theme song told you at the beginning of the thing.
Hopefully.
If I remember to actually make the theme song, which I probably won't.
He was too lazy to put me in the theme song.
No.
Guest star. Guest stars don't get theme song.
But I'm like here every time, so doesn't that make me like a constantly reoccurring
Okay.
guest star?
So, first off, I'm not gonna call you by your usernames. So, I'm Ethan, Powerstars is Johnny, and guest star is Riley.
ShadowClaw1009, let me plug my channel real quick. Just letting that out
go
there.
watch it. It's like new and stuff.
It's like
I'm the one who
real
made it.
good. It's Rukuka. No, but our topic is like the evolution of the video game industry, just
And
kind
the
of as
state
a
that it's
whole.
in now.
Just like kind of like the video game industry in general.
All right, does anyone want to start?
God damn it,
Riley, I
Activision.
believe you had something to say.
God damn it, Activision, and
That's it.
And he cut out.
Sweet. That was good.
Test.
yeah. Yeah.
And my mom's hand is on my back.
That's weird.
No.
Johnny, this is going on the internet, remember?
Yes, I remember.
This is going on the interwebs.
Hopefully.
I'll edit it in post.
So, what I was gonna say is, I'm a huge retro guy, so instantly I'm thinking back to, like, 80s, like the NES.
Then, I haven't played too many retro games. I'm more of
Which
like...
I'm ashamed of.
I'm
Go
just...
do it now.
Yeah.
Right
But
now. No.
speaking of retro
Get
games...
Get off the Skype.
We're ending the podcast.
You're doing
Riley
it
needs
now.
to play Super Mario Brothers.
Well, there's a game that was an older game that recently got a remake, and I've been really into the remake, and that is Killer Instinct.
Well, is that actually a remake or is that more of a sequel?
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, it's
more
a
of a
mixture.
Well,
It's
I'm
hard
not
to-
into fighting games, so like I'm
Well,
curious.
nor am I, but Killer Instinct was like in the 90s. I hope you... Well, like, if you're talking about the arcade cabinet, yeah, that's from the 80s.
And then there was a 2 on like the...
The SNES.
Yeah,
It-
2 on the SNES.
You said
farthest
90s, and now I have Smells Like Teen Spirit in my head. Because
we interrupt this program about video games
to bring you Nirvana references.
Yeah. To have Johnny sing Smells Like Teen Spirit. Go, Johnny.
Dang, and or the riff, like butcher the riff really badly because he's out of breath.
Okay.
But
But as I was saying,
Moving on.
I was kind of thinking like, there was a lot that hasn't changed from like the 80s. There's still first party consoles, there's still like console wars, there's still third party developers. Like there's all the
There's still video games.
yes, there's
That's
all the
good.
exist in the universe.
there's all the bones of the industry. We're more talking about like the meat of the industry that has changed.
Yeah. Another
Like
thing.
on disc DLC, I'm looking at you, Capcom.
I'll be bringing that up later.
Shame.
Yeah,
But,
let's bring that up later. But
Yeah, for the industry though, like I noticed that from the 80s and that sort of era, the only really first party company still making consoles is Nintendo.
is Nintendo.
Atari's third party, Sega's third party.
Yeah, because like Sega got knocked out of the ranks and turned into third party.
Yeah, Dreamcast came out and the industry was like, nope.
And like what we're seeing today is more like the early 2000s when like the Xbox came out, and well, PS1 was more late 90s, but you get the picture.
Yeah.
So how do you think that flip from like the 80s, like NES, Genesis, to like the 90s where we get into the more like what consoling is today? Consoling. That's a word now.
Guys, we're gonna go do some consoling.
Something I noticed that also hasn't changed is the fact that the competitors try and outshine each other with better graphics, particularly PS4 and Xbox One against.
Yes, but
I want to see them just say how many bits they have.
Yeah,
like in their commercial, it's like, we have like 1,067 bits. Top that.
Bro, I got 200,000 million bits.
And meanwhile, Nintendo's just like, hey, we have games and stuff.
And they're like,
nobody cares because the graphics aren't as good as the PS4 or Xbox One. I'm bitter about that, by the way.
Back to what I was saying, my first thought. How do you think that would affect our industry if like it hadn't made that switch?
Let's see. Platformers would probably be even more major than they are now.
Well, you see, yeah, the only people who are making platformers now really is Nintendo. That's because they're like famous for it.
Well, Nintendo and Sega to some extent. With the
Wait, in this alternate universe, are we at like the point of where there is 3D games, or it's still like more 2D?
Well, I have to feel like people will be more attached to 2D if it's an alternate universe, but there will still be like 3D games.
Yeah, there'll probably be a lot more platformers, and if the
a lot less shooters.
Yes.
No, there'd still be shooters.
There'd be more like
still the industry would be better if the
Contra
shooter market wasn't so oversaturated.
There'd probably be like a lot more like third-party games, but then again, if it was in the same state it was back then, you wouldn't know if a game was good or not, so you could still be in the state where you could get screwed over very easily.
That's a very good point.
That is one good way the industry has evolved over the years, is that now...
I don't think that's the gaming industry, I just think that...
media in general.
That's just the internet.
Yeah, that's the magical thing that we call the internet.
Yeah, even though you can still kind of get screwed over. Aliens, colonial marines. I'm sorry, I'm just super bitter about that game because I bought the collector's box thinking that it was gonna be really good. I pre-ordered it, and then like the day it comes out, I see all the reviews on the internet, and I'm like,
oh god.
I'm like, god dang it. No.
No.
It can't be true.
I don't.
Search your feelings, you know it will be true.
I think we should jump more to like the shooting genre discussion, because I mean like it'd still be present. There'd still be games like Doom and like Contra.
Yeah.
Stuff like that was back then. But I don't think it would be necessarily more first-person shooters, because there wasn't a lot of that.
Yeah, but maybe if they might start like they might like evolve Doom into a much more multiplayer-esque game.
Oh,
so
that'd be awesome.
Imagine just seeing like all the COD fanboys nowadays playing Doom instead.
Yeah, kind of.
Dude, that's a good
idea. That kind of scares me a bit in a way when you think about it.
I like to imagine you're talking more about like what Quake is.
Yes, it's like Quake would be like, instead of how Call of Duty has like millions of people, Quake would just be the replacement for Call of Duty.
And of course, like, graphics would get better. Everyone would yell about graphics. So, like,
but the gameplay style wouldn't really change.
Yeah, it would be what I really want someone to make. And if no one makes it, I think I might just do an indie of it. It's just basically Doom, except like Call of Duty graphics.
Yeah, it'd be like Quake at... Well, I don't know, the kind of the old British, like, if that's even like a term.
British? Hold on, let me search it up on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, but that kind of adds to the feel of those whole games, and also the there's kind of, in my opinion, two kind of shooters. I like to call one like grounded and the other floaty. Grounded ones are where there's like more weight to your character and it feels like your character is very restrictive in your movement.
Oh,
but floaty is when you move very quickly and like can jump really high. Like I see more as like Doom as like floaty games, whereas like the Call of Duty, Gears of War are very weighted games.
I don't play shooters, so I'm totally out.
That is a very good point. Riley, you are in luck because British isn't defined. It isn't defined. Can you define it?
Made up of many bits.
Give this man a medal.
I'm actually going to see if Urban Dictionary accepts that. But
it's our first episode and we've already made a new word. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Guys, we gonna be famous.
Example. What did you just say before?
The Doom, Castlevania, and Wolfenstein are very British games, right?
Early 80s games appeal more because they are British?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, how does that make them appeal more, though?
No, one of the appeal of early games is that they are British, consisting of many bits.
Okay, fuck it.
You mean like basically just
we're returning to the
Atari-ish.
conversation.
By British you mean Atari-ish.
No, Notice how we've gone like on a contingent about a random word we've made.
Perfect, it'll just extend the video time.
One
We
second.
don't have to talk about the industry anymore. We can just go on about British and upload it.
What was I gonna
any
say?
ever
Well, like,
That sounds like you could just say to someone, "That's a load of British."
That sounds almost like British. The British
No.
are coming. The British.
that is a new phrase we are using to this date.
British.
This video will mark it. We
Okay,
have
that's
monkeys.
going to be like a reoccurring thing of me.
No, not just in these.
at
Like,
least
This
you know,
term is the next Call of Duty killer. I swear to
Just in our
God, better than
general
Call of Duty.
eyes.
High quality right here.
No, but
Now
as
we
I was
just need to add dogs and fish.
as I was saying, I was thinking about like we would get to shooters eventually, because there's a good theory that the reason that we have so many shooters is because like the U.S. was like basically born out of violence, like the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
you're kind of right.
I mean,
So I
like
feel-
a good percent of our population is rednecks, and I mean, redneck and gun are almost synonyms.
Yes.
Sorry guys, I have to go to the bathroom.
Seriously?
I'm sorry.
First podcast, bro.
First.
We're making so many landmarks. First use of the word British. First time one of us has to go to the bathroom while we're doing it.
First podcast, bro.
We told you to go at the last stop, Johnny.
Johnny.
No, then-
I am
Johnny.
not stopping this car again, Johnny.
Johnny, why do you have to be so British?
Gosh dang it, Johnny.
I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
No. Okay.
Get your
What?
British back here.
But but I feel like we would get to shooters eventually. It's gonna happen.
Okay, what if British was a unit of time?
I can see that. But let's not get off topic.
5 seconds is a British. It's now official.
No. We're not doing that. We're not
It's too
doing
late. It's already on the internet.
God damn it. We would get to shooters eventually, but I don't think it would be as saturated as it is. Or at least seem less saturated. Because like you said, with all the platformers and junk coming out, it'll seem significantly less large than it actually is.
Well, it'd be more 50-50. What do you think?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Because,
Like-
and Nintendo would like, let's face it, like if it was the way it was back in the 80s, 90s, we wouldn't have Microsoft, which means we wouldn't have Halo.
That's a very good point.
And we wouldn't have Gears of War.
Thank God for that. But I'm sorry. I'm not a very big shooter dude. I play shooters, but I'm not like super devoted to them.
I'll play a shooter every once in a while because I like multiplayer. Because for me, and I think a lot of other people's, the whole reason like you like a shooter is you want to feel like you're actually good at it and you're actually like improving at a game and you're being better than other people. Like that's why I played the Uncharted 3 multiplayer so much. I was actually really good at that. Like
I know you would segue to Uncharted eventually. Then a good question I have in this parallel universe, like. Good, you're here for the question.
What's the question?
Are you ready? So, if we're in this parallel universe where like the 80s. 80s
The biddy era.
The biddy era.
Wait, so we invented both
the
Biddish
biddies
and Biddy.
The biddies.
Biddy cent.
What?
Yeah, that's like my super weird laugh. Have either of you heard that? Johnny's heard it. Cause my like super weird like high pitched laugh. Like only my.
If I actually hear it.
Just get a cat and an eye patch and you could be like an evil genius.
Only. Thanks. It wasn't that.
My plan. It's all going according to my plan.
But only like my really, close friends have heard me like do my super weird high pitched laugh.
Well, now the whole internet has.
And that's a good point. Well, the internet has always been my friend.
That depends how many people watch the video. So that means like now 6 extra people have.
So that means like my close friends.
Yeah, and that one guy in Kansas.
No, that one guy over in like Japan or something.
And he's like,
who does that laugh?
I swear, we're going to start talking about like how much our videos suck, and from this point forward,
That's what it'll be about.
Our views are just gonna skywalk it.
walk it.
And then I'm gonna go
my rocket ship to fame. It's called the Rocket of Biddy ship.
Okay, back on topic.
No.
What were we talking about? Gaming.
Okay.
What about
I
gaming?
had a question. I had a question. What would happen to indie games? Cause like if you look around.
Well, pretty much there
Let
were.
me finish the question. Because like most indie games are like a throwback to that era, like people who want games like that. So what if our whole industry was just like that?
Well, this whole alternate universe is a bit ridiculous, because it's talking about if games didn't evolve. We naturally like to change and make things better.
Well, yes, we're still improving upon them. It's just that, like...
Maybe indie games would be something wildly different instead of that absolute norm. And also another thing about indie games is it seemed like on a lot of older consoles, it wasn't as hard to get your content on there. You just really had to put a game on a cartridge and kind of get their approval.
Well,
not get their approval.
I know, just look at LJN. They somehow managed to make it on there.
Here's the thing. I feel like they would still evolve and start reinforcing that more, you know what I mean?
What? The gaming industry is evolving!
You have that in my head now, thanks.
That's our new theme song, bro.
That's the second thing in my head now. In this podcast.
I bet the first one's Biddy.
The first
50
one's
Cent.
Teen Spirit.
That song was by 50 Cent.
50 Cent.
Yeah,
so
no one caught that joke
he's
earlier.
like 50 Cent, but instead of using normal beats, he uses chiptunes.
I'm sick of all this mother effing bits on this mother effing plane.
Okay, let's...
I'm on now you have another Nirvana song in my head, thank you.
So what would happen to indie games? Johnny, what do you think?
I personally think they wouldn't be that big of a thing, because instead of feeling like nostalgia for the 8-bit era, all the games would be sort of like that. Therefore...
They'd just be
the
like regular
games
developers.
kind of
It wouldn't be like, oh, we're indie. It'd just be, oh, we're this.
Well,
it'd be
let's
like,
think
we're the same as everyone else, except
we're
we don't have
smaller.
the same budget.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Human imagination is amazing. So, like, someone's gotta come up with a new concept, and it's going to be really cool and out of the market even today. So, like,
for some reason, I think it'd have to do with, like, some major mechanic in 2D platforming.
Yeah, like we're thinking,
gravity
I'm
bending
thinking hypothetically, like, if this universe happened, like, maybe Xbox didn't catch on, maybe, like, PS1 was good, like, it kind of caught on, but, like,
maybe people just, like, didn't choose to buy the next wave of consoles because they were content with what they already had.
Well, you see, a lot of people already do that. Like, I don't have a PS3. I have a PS3. I don't have.
Maybe a meteor crashed into the Earth and sent it all into an apocalyptic state. Who knows?
And
that started the biddy war.
You can.
It lasted for biddy years. Hey. Yeah, I'm done.
We both, me and Ethan both said you can, like, as in you can stop at the exact same time.
Okay. It lasted for biddy years was pretty fun. Otherwise, everything else just stopped.
Stop.
Like, I swear, like, 50 minutes worth of this is just going to be biddy, and then the other 10 minutes are going to be actual discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's most podcasts anyway.
Let's go away from the hypothetical. Let's just go with, like, your opinions about the gaming industry in general.
I want to talk about my opinions on how the media treats the gaming industry.
Okay, that's a completely different can of worms, and we're going to have to spend an entire other podcast of that.
Cliffhanger right there. That's a cliffhanger.
I'm talking about how you feel about it. And I think I'd like to hear Johnny's side, because you don't really have any, like, new consoles and...
Johnny, spotlight's on you.
Wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about,
Johnny.
What is your opinion on the video game industry, like, as of now?
Yeah, Tyrone.
I personally feel that, it's sort of focusing too much on graphics, and as far as genres go, particularly, they're focusing too much on shooters, which, in my opinion, a lot of those, like, they can be unique, but most of them aren't. They're just, like, Call of Duty or Battlefield clones or whatever.
Let me just tell, copy paste, profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't talk about graphics really, because, like, the Bit Wars, like the NES and Genesis, that was a super big thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Graphics Wars has always kind of been a part of
I think that's just sort of in human nature that we'll look at, like, one thing. Oh, that
it's just
like it'll be like, oh, that looks interesting.
Graphics for us are like,
it, and then they look over at something else. Oh man, the textures are so realistic. I'm buying that instead. I don't care how bad the gameplay looks. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like phone coverage, for instance. Like, some companies will boast, oh, we have the most coverage, but in fact, a lot of their coverage is just in some areas really bad. Or we have the best 4G, but they don't cover as many places. It's kind of like there's a little bit of that in every kind of aspect of any genre.
Yeah. Back what you were saying, Johnny.
Yeah. But I think it's focusing too much on shooters, and the platformer, aside from Nintendo's things, there's not really that many platformers now. Like Nintendo, they sort of rule the handheld market, but as far as the console market goes, they're just crashing and burning with every new console from the GameCube onwards.
And even with the handheld market, like, the freaking App Store is taking over.
Right, but as far as, like, dedicated game systems go,
dedicated handheld players,
the PS Vita.
I follow you.
Yeah, because they have, like, the thing with the 3DS is that they have, like,
it's on 3D.
Well, that's not the reason it's selling, though. It's
No.
Like, it's selling for the reasons a console should sell. It's selling for the game.
Because it has
It has Mario. It has Mario 3D Land. It has
A Link Between Worlds. Have you played A Link Between Worlds yet?
No, I have not.
You need to play A Link Between Worlds.
It looks but I'm really bad at all Zelda games ever.
So am I, but I still generally enjoy it.
Okay. But yeah, it's, like, I believe I mentioned Pokemon X and Y. It has, and this is what's going to sell your console right here. Mario Kart.
Yeah.
If you have Mario Kart, your console
Smash Bros.
Will sell.
Is gonna sell your console.
Yeah, and Smash
And
Bros.
it's going to have
is
Smash
coming on 3DS.
Bros., which will sell even more units.
I mean, they just have really good exclusives, but part of me is sad that all the Nintendo exclusives just go to the Nintendo systems.
Well, no shit. It's
I know.
Nintendo exclusive.
Well, they
know.
gotta have the exclusives because Nintendo, like, in home
There's
Hell,
nothing
way-
else.
home
in a
consoles
way-
are totally losing.
In a way, just picture this in your head for a second. What if Nintendo did a Sega and didn't do consoles anymore, and became like a third-party developer?
That would never happen.
Riley, I would die.
That would never happen. Yeah, you're a huge Nintendo fan too.
I'm a huge.
But
Nintendo fan
Johnny,
forever.
you could get Pokemon anywhere you wanted, on the PC, on the Xbox One.
But how would the trading work? How would the online trading and battling work? They can't just connect. That's no.
Oh
Johnny.
god, can we? Hey,
You're destroying my brain cells.
can we please stop talking about Pokemon?
But I like Pokemon.
Combo breaker, we're done.
Let's.
But Pikachu's
Riley,
so
do you wanna-
cute, though.
Do you want to go next with your opinions on the game industry, or should I go?
I kind of, just to have a break from all the seriousness, I kind of want to share my random thought of the episode. This comes courtesy of the news. I'm not making this story up. True fact coming. Get ready for this.
Yeah,
I was
keep
watching-
smacking your lips. That's not annoying.
Yeah, I was watching the news recently, and there was a story. It's like, there were two men recently in the street having a fist fight, and then they got hit by a truck.
So who is the bad guy in this?
I don't know. Apparently the two were drunk, having a fist fight in the middle of the street, and then got hit by a pickup truck.
That's lovely.
And this is how I imagine it going. They're out in the street like, you wanna go? You wanna go, bro? Oh. And they just start fist fighting. And then the car comes, it's like, and it hits them, and it's like, what you say?
Oh god.
But there has to be, it has to be,
Wait.
because it's 2 kills, there has to be a quick beat skip, like, what you say?
Alright,
Okay, back onto the topic.
I'm gonna go next. I've decided.
Alright.
You need to kind of gather yourself.
And Riley's never going to go ever again.
No, I'll go
But-
next on a serious note.
No, you won't.
Kind of, okay, let's not jinx ourselves.
Yeah.
Kind of what Johnny was saying about how, like, we focus too much on shooters. Like, yeah, I agree on that. But note that we're talking about the video game industry. If shooters are selling, shooters are going to be all over the market. That's just how...
Right. That's how it was
industries
with
work.
rhythm games a few years back.
Yeah, like rhythm games and like platformers from the 80s. Hey, Mario's selling, let's make a Mario.
Although the thing
Let's
is,
make a Mario.
if you'll notice, rhythm games a few years back, Activision made Guitar Hero. Activision is making Call of Duty. Do you know what happened to Guitar Hero and Rock Band? So many games were being made that it flooded the market and consumers were no longer interested because it wasn't unique. That's what might happen with shooters if this keeps going on.
Well, you see, as long as there's still people who are like super into shooters, like, have you ever met, I can think of a couple off the top of my head, but I'm not gonna say any names. People at our school that are just like hardcore shooter fans.
Yes.
And you see, as long as those people are still like lively and wanting to buy those games, there are also people in like their 20s that are super into those games. That's like their main demographic. And there's like people in their 30s that are still...
They're all like sheep. They can be led to anything with enough effort.
Yes, as long as it's selling, the game industry's gonna keep making them.
Yeah, they could like...
The thing is, though, I think at some point, the fans are going to get sick of it. It's not going to be...
Johnny, they're like zombies. They don't think.
Like zombies too, that's another thing. Shooters and zombies.
Yeah.
yeah.
And speaking
Games
of which,
with zombies.
there's there's a new game that's coming out that's by the makers of Left 4 Dead and Counter-Strike.
Valve.
No, it's a company that worked on those two games, not Valve.
Why not Valve?
And the name of the game is Evolution. And it's very unique in the way of one team has 4 players who play the human hunters, and they're fighting against a constantly evolving monster. But here's the catch. The monster is played by a real person.
Yeah, that's the game industry.
Yeah,
and sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, and the person gets to choose and customize how their monster evolves over time, and it's in a giant like open world area. And when you first start out, you're really weak, and the monster's like the prey. But then it goes around hunting other smaller monsters in the forest, while the hunters are using all their like tech to track him down because they can see his footprints and stuff. And then the monster keeps growing bigger and bigger until it's like 30 feet tall. That's its final form.
Is this supposed to be a metaphor for the gaming industry? Because I think that's super fitting.
Actually, you're right.
And then the monster's more strong. And apparently when the game releases, there's going to be different kinds of monsters and different kinds of hunters. And there's like 4 different classes, but there's different characters for each class that all play differently.
Do you see, this is what I'm talking about. Innovation.
Let's stick with that metaphor. Like, all of the other quote-unquote monsters have pretty much been chewed up. Like, platformers, that's pretty close to ending. Rhythm games are really not selling anymore. Unless you consider, like, Just Dance a rhythm game, which I sure as hell don't.
Still, that's not selling as much as it used to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what I'm saying is, it's an industry, and as much as people on the internet like you to think, like, shooters are selling. A lot of people don't like shooters and complain about them, but you know what? They would stop making shooters if no one liked them.
Face it, it's like, a lot of people I know, they don't even get Call of Duty because they want to get Call of Duty. It's just something that everyone gets because it's the norm, and you get it to play with your friends, and most of your friends just get it to play with friends. It's like a social standard.
You said that's like the only reason you got Ghosts too,
yeah,
right?
It's like the only reason I even returned Ghosts to get some Steam cash, by the way. But but that's like the only reason.
Wisest decision you've ever made in your life.
Yeah, but it's basically COD and a lot of other shooters. It's almost like a social standard to get it. Like, oh, every year it's almost like paying taxes. Oh, here comes my $60 COD tax.
Yeah, just keep going. I'm done with my talk.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor, though.
Yeah. And it's like that, and basically other people try and make COD clones and stuff. And here's a problem I noticed when I was younger. A lot of those games are M, so a lot of stricter, in my opinion, good parents who don't let the younger kids play those games those kids gravitate to games with lower ratings. So, shooter copiers, I've seen some of them do this. It's like, hey, let's make a really crappy T-rated shooter so that all those kids who are not allowed to play COD can play this, and they can't complain about it because it's all they have.
So, how is this related to the industry, would you say?
It's almost like they're targeting a demographic. I'm just saying that demographic is getting targeted and having bad content thrown at them just because they can't have the good content.
Okay, and I think that's just like any industry in general.
Yeah.
Like, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, usually what happens. Like how Kids Bop is definitely not as good as the real songs.
Yeah, but people will still buy Kids Bop because it says kids on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're from Minnesota, don't you know?
It is so ding-dang cold in Minnesota.
A ding-dang dong.
It's not even that cold.
Ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding.
Like,
for anybody watching
to anyone who ever complains about having 30-degree weather and having it being cold, let me just tell you this. It was 30 degrees last night.
Beautiful.
And I woke up the next morning,
awesome.
like, covered in sweat. Like, I was literally like, what happened? Is Mother Nature supposed to keep me cold? Aren't I supposed to bundle up?
And there was like
Does not
20 degrees
confuse.
out.
Yeah,
it was
it
like
does
20
not
degrees
confuse.
out today.
Yeah.
It's awesome out.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
What's going
we
on.
don't even have to embrace like Minnesotan stereotypes. If we're talking about the weather and we're talking about 20-degree weather and we think that's awesome, they know.
That's like frolic weather for us. Like we could go around and just start spinning like Sound of Music out there.
Let's go back on topic.
Wait. I need to tell you about my script for Hollywood.
No.
No.
Let's get back on top.
No. You have to hear this. It is on topic because we just talked about the Sound of Music. It's a parody
No,
movie.
it's not on topic.
And
If
any directors watching this, just hit me up, ShadowClaw1009. It's called Julie Andrews, Vampire Slayer. No, Nazi Hunter.
You told
Nazi
me
Hunter.
about this. This is.
Julie Andrews, Nazi Hunter.
You see, and there are more movies that are coming out like that, but that's a different topic.
I'll keep
Yeah.
it. I'm going to make
There's
this.
a midget Hitler
Instead of
involved.
being a movie, it should be a game. Because it would bring innovation to the shooting industry.
Well, you see, that's the problem. Like, I don't think that's a good mindset to be at, because video games are also widely used as marketing.
Yeah.
Like,
You know-
Adventure Time has a video game. Like, there's going to be an Attack on
Adventure Time's
Titan.
sort of a bad example because I've heard
You know-
that game is actually good.
This is on
For a better
topic.
example, Wreck-It Ralph had a game by Activision. It's about it.
Wouldn't
that.
that's like major Inception right there.
I know it is.
Within a game.
Which
Within
you'd
a
think
game.
Wreck-It Ralph would be
within
a
a game.
good game, but
Wow.
it
I
was made by
can't.
Activision, so.
It would
I
just-
think, personally, we should stop here. We started out with hating Activision. We're ending with hating
Yeah,
Activision.
let's just bring the entire thing full circle.
So, let's
So,
just
closing
let's
comments.
plug. Just plug everything you have.
I have a channel.
Wacky waving fire arm flailing tube lands. Wacky inflatable waving arm flailing tube lands.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Bradley can't pronounce stuff, so if you need that, write them out.
Wacky inflatable arm waving tube man.
On flailing.
Would you like to buy one?
I'm the Skeleton Minion, youtube.com/SkeletonMinion, @SkeletonMinion on Twitter. Johnny,
I'm Powerstars321. It's the channel
on YouTube.
that this is on. As for other things,
I'm here.
like really inactive right now, so.
Yeah, ShadowClaw on Twitch.
I'm on Twitch.
And he's
Shut
up
him
up on
on
Twitch.
2009.
On YouTube, no, not on Twitch now. And I'm on YouTube, ShadowClaw1009. I don't have good content. All I have is Assassin's Creed Black Flag multiplayer because I was testing out my recorder. But I'm planning to actually put good stuff up there eventually. And don't forget to follow my Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube, and like and favorite. Oh
New
yeah,
season of
and
Channels
don't forget to buy
coming
my
soon.
t-shirts,
Watch it when
and
it
my
comes
coffee
out.
mugs, and my posters.
I'll link the YouTube thingies in the description.
Yeah, you bet.
Or I'll come over
Not
and
linking it.
internet slap you.
I don't like it.
How does one internet slap? Let's not get into that.
Alright, here's what you do.
No,
Here's what
you
do.
don't
find-
ask him because
find-
he'll explain.
You find the nearest computer monitor, you pick it up, and then you take it, and you walk over to the person's place of living, and then you just hit them over the head as hard as you can with your computer monitor.
But wait, what if the computer isn't internet enabled?
Don't care. I'm Ethan, aka Skeleton Minion.
I'm Powerstars, also known as Powerstars321.
I'm ShadowClaw1009, also known as Two Guys Getting Hit by a Pickup Truck.
And
See
this
you
has
guys
been-
later.
This has been discussion time. Discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion. And
Yo,
like-
outro by Biddy
The
said.
bits! They're everywhere.
oh,
shout
wait,
out
we
to
need
my
to
boy.
end this with the recurring thing in the video. On the count
Shout
of
out to
no, guys. On the count of 3, we'll all yell British. All right.
What
One.
to say? But,
Oh, you have one more thing to say.
no, it has to be like in a goodbye tone, like British.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. British. Nobody yelled. Come on, better.
British.
1, 2, 3. Finish.
Finish.
I take it.
That wasn't on sync, but that's probably the closest we'll ever get.
Alright,
We done here?
we done.
I say we end by all clapping for ourselves.
Good show! You did,
Genius.
Johnny. Not you,
Marvelous.
Riley. You did
10 out of 10
terrible
would
job.
watch again.
Fabulous.
Riley, you did a terrible job, but Johnny.
Ethan.
I'm just gonna go sit in this corner.
Yeah, you better sit in that corner. Think about what
Sit in
you've
the
done.
corner. Damn.
I'll go sit in the corner with Jeff.
Sit in the corner before I get the belt back out.
Don't make me sick Jeff on you, because I will call him. I have my whistle. Jeff!
Alright, let's stop.
Alright.
We're resorting to inside jokes now. We need to stop.
I thought we already stopped.
We're stopping now.
I can't stop.
Bye!
Yeah, we can't stop.
No, we can't.
No!
Oh,
Actually,
stop.
finish it.
Something about
Oh
bad.
god, no!
Something about pot.
Finish it.
Okay. Finish
Okay.
it.
Now that we're done,
Quality.
I'm getting more food now that we're done.
Okay, we're done. We're like actually done.